Hi everyone, I'm Lola. I hope you're all having a great week because I surely did. So I went camping slash fishing this week for 4 days and 3 nights, and I felt like I was in survival. The reality show. No electricity, no kitchen, no bathroom. It was so intense. We passed by the market to buy some sardines to do the bait for the big fish because that's our goal. On our way to lunch, we passed by this beautiful church. I could hear the bells ringing in my mind and me leaving with a beautiful white dress. But right now I don't have to worry because I hate priests. I've seen enough movies to know how marriage ends. You end up lonely, fat and tired. And I'm already lonely and tired. We end up choosing O Cortiço. Was full of workers, so we know it's a good place to eat. Workers always know the best place. The menu was great and I ended up choosing tomato rice, salad and sardine. This food never disappoints me. And like all men in my life, carrying everything here was so heavy, almost as heavy as my conscience. After denying food to a homeless, my mom. The sun was shining through, and Thomas the train was ready to go on. Obviously, only took 20 minutes to put everything in the train. And by the look in my face, you can see I was ready for action. I'm also not gonna lie, I'm camera shy. And the only baby ahead of me was my rod. Arriving at low tide to carry stuff was like way much easier, but fishing at low tide was horrible. I was casting out and bringing back the rod, the hook with full of seaweed, touching the seaweed, not knowing what was there. Quite scary, not gonna lie. And after 5-6 hours of persevering, finally, when I was ready to give up, we caught a dorada, and the dorada was like our main goal since the beginning of the summer. And after that, straight away we caught another pilot with a halu, like decent sized fish, was perfectly to end the night there. It's now day 2 and I'm putting my rod together again. I start by putting the reels. And this clip is taking me about 10 seconds, but actually it took like 2 minutes. This rod has 3 parts, just like my dad had 3 wives. The difference is a rod cannot run away from you or leaving you with your grandma. So I decided to name this little fella Antonio. And Antonio was dealing with some bad stuff. I don't want to tell others people business, but he was dealing with mental health issues. He just jumped. But he's a tough guy and he was fine. You know how they always say there's plenty of fish in the sea? I do not think fish like me, which is weird since I'm their queen. Did you saw my cast? Obviously I was born for this, I'm a natural. I knew my long arms would be useful one day. Now come to see where I stayed the night. Finding this was like finding a pearl in an oyster. It just looks like a movie. It makes me come back a few years in time and remembers me of Castelo Branco. Estúpido! Idiota! In my mind, this was already my beach house. I was already planning to invite everyone for a big barbecue. What's up? I just woke up. It's day 3 of the fishing trip. I'm just hiding from the wind on my little wooden house. Like, honestly, this is so cool. Walking to the right, we found this little spot at the ferry station, and we had a few drinks there until the ferry arrived. So we catch the boat, we arrived to Santa Luzia. And I noticed the high tide is really high there. I thought was natural there. So we go to the supermarket looking for some bait shop, and the guy says, the streets are going to be filled up with water. At this point I was feeling like I was in Venice, without the champagne and the nice dress, of course. They say this only happened 2 times a year, and that's the time my dad paid child support in his life. It kinda looks like the end of the world, but at the same time was just beautiful. Tourists thought there was a problem with the drains. But what drains? We stopped to have a burger, and let me tell you, it was the best burger I ever had. Or maybe it was just me because I was starving for almost 3 days already. Last time my grandma saw one of these was in 1995. She fell and broke 4 fingers. They still twisted, just like my humor. By the way, have you noticed that this palm tree looks like a pineapple? Coming into this boat, I could only hear one thing. Not the waves, not the wind, but My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion. Not sure who I am. Am I Rose? Am I Jack? Maybe I'm Jack because I'm poor. But just like Rose, I wouldn't try to save another man. Maybe I'm a Rose. You might not recognize me, but I'm the one in the middle. And closer to the camera is Daddy. Say hi, Daddy. This is me on a flooded street. Now this is me with all the stuff together. trying to get off the bench, sunset vibes, fish on the grill, all the fish we caught, the queen of the ocean, fishing break, and the man of the week. This was one of my favorite trips I ever took. I felt so part of the nature. I felt like everything I did was so natural. I felt good with myself, at peace. I felt such a pro when I was casting in and like casting out, baiting and eating this sandwich full of sand and sleeping in the cold with just one sleeping bag. It just felt right. The only thing I would change, obviously, would be the fact that I would have stayed more days. Definitely I want to come back with way more people. I think that would be just incredibly cool.